I've bought and reviewed tons of gaming mouses in this channel. Here are the things that I learned and some mistakes to avoid. So mistake to avoid when buying a gaming mouse number 1 is not looking at the polling rate of the mouse. What even is a polling rate? In short, a polling rate is how much times your mouse updates per second. So the higher the polling rate, the faster the mouse is. So what is a good polling rate for a gaming mouse? I'd recommend 1000 Hz or higher. Now recently, there's tons of 4000 Hz, even 8000 Hz mouses in the market. And it's like the new standard. Now 1000 Hz is still a good polling rate though, but if you have 4000 Hz or 8000 Hz options, I would definitely recommend that over the 1000 Hz. But if you're in a more budget option, then 1000 Hz is totally fine because some people can't even notice the difference between 1000 Hz and 4000 Hz. But for me personally, I do notice a difference. But it will depend on you though and your system, your PC, your monitor. I already made a video about that, so you can go ahead and check it out after this video if 4000 Hz is for you. But yeah, 1000 Hz polling rate is still a good option, especially if you're in a budget, because 1000 Hz mouses right now are not that expensive compared to 4000 Hz mouses and 8000 Hz mouses. Make sure you check the polling rate of the gaming mouse before you buy it. So now let's go straight to number 2. Mistake to avoid number 2 is not looking at the clicks or the switches of the mouse. So what should you be looking for in your mouse switches? Mostly and mainly these two switches, the mouse button 1 and 2, since this is gonna be the most used clicks on the mouse you're going to be using. Now, there are two types of switches. It could be mechanical switches and optical switches. So what's the difference? Obviously, mechanical uses metals and stuff and all these mechanical things happening inside to send a signal. I'll display a little picture here for you so you can look at it and imagine it better. While optical uses light. There's no doubt that optical switches are just a little bit better. Some people claim that they are a little faster as well. But yeah, I think another one of the biggest advantages you can have with optical switches is avoiding double clicking. Now, if you've had a mouse before that had double clicking issues, then you know how annoying it is. But if you haven't still, then you don't want to know how annoying it is. Double clicking can be so annoying when gaming, when doing whatever you are doing in your computer, watching YouTube. Simply pausing your YouTube videos will just automatically zoom it in and not pause the video. Like, is crazy. But yeah, if you buy a gaming mouse, you definitely do not want that double clicking. Now with mechanical switches, you can always turn on the debounce time and probably adjust it in some to avoid the double clicking. What debounce time does is it kind of delays your click, which doesn't really affect the performance much, but I would recommend to not turn debounce time on, especially if you want to spam click. It can mess with your spam clicks. So optical switches, you don't need no debounce time because it's light and double clicking, it won't be a problem. Now, even though optical switches are apparently better than mechanical switches because of the things that I just told you, that is not always the case. Some optical switches feel terrible. May it be mechanical, may it be optical, every switch has different feelings, different tension, different spammability, different hardness, how hard you have to press in order to click it. And I think that would be one of the most important, how the mouse click feels and do you like it. So this will be a personal preference, so make sure you watch some YouTube reviews on the mouse that you're about to buy and hopefully get some useful information from the reviewer about the clicks, on how it feels, and then you can decide that for yourself. So yeah, if you can find an optical switch that also feels good for you, then that's amazing. That's the perfect combination that you want for the clicks. And one example of that for me is the Beast X WLMOUSE over here. Use discount code MIGSSMIGS on their official store WLMOUSE for some discount. But yeah, if the mouse has mechanical switches though, it doesn't mean that it's gonna be bad. There's still a lot of good mechanical switches over there that doesn't really double click and feels really amazing and is also very responsive. So having a mechanical switches is also good. But yeah, logically and from my experience, someone that experienced a lot of double clicking issues from my past mouses, mechanical switched mouses, it is not a good experience. So I would definitely recommend opticals a little bit more than mechanical, but again, mechanicals are also amazing. That's it for the mouse clicks. Let's go ahead and move to mistake number 3. Buying a mouse that is too heavy or too light. Now, I remember buying a mouse that looked really cool and had amazing performance as well, but I didn't really look at the weight that much. So I went ahead and bought it and was so excited, but when I tested it and gamed with it, it felt very different. Now, for me personally, I really like lightweight mouses, somewhere on the range of, this one is 40 grams, very light. 40 grams to 60 grams are pretty good for me. Now above that, I can still game with it, but I'd probably need some time to get used to it as well. Like, I prefer a more 60 gram to 40 gram or even lighter type of mouses. That's what I know for myself, but some people find 40 grams or lower too light already because they really like that control, and that heaviness kind of gives your mouse a bit more control. But for me personally, I really like how it feels to flick fast and move your mouse easily with lightweight mouses. And yeah, having a mouse that's too heavy or too light for you is not a good experience. It's definitely possible though to get used to it, so if you want to try and get used to it, then there's no one stopping you. Now let's go ahead and go straight to number 4. Now, shape. Shape is as good as performance. Shape is as good as the weight, bro. It's like they all work together. Never ignore the shape. Just because the mouse performs so amazing, looks so amazing, the weight is perfect. No. The shape, another important thing. Now, how would you actually know what shape would fit you? Well, one easy way is to know your grip. There are 3 famous grip styles, but there's definitely a lot more out there. But the 3 famous ones are fingertip, palm grip, and claw grip. Now, a claw grip looks a little bit, it's like a claw on your mouse. You probably use the hump of the mouse a lot over here. You would probably want a mouse shape with a good hump. If you fingertip grip, you use the fingertips of your hand to aim. You would probably like lighter, small mouses. I'd recommend you check out eloshapes.com. You can type in the mouse that you want to compare and see the actual shape of the mouse over there. I don't know the accuracy though, but that is what I use to see and compare the humps and stuff like that. But yeah, finding the right shape would be so much easier if you've had a past mouse before that you really liked, and then you can go ahead and compare it with different mouses and different shapes and how close is it and how far the hump is from that mouse and this mouse. Now, enough with the shape. Let's go ahead and go to mistake number 5, is ignoring your mouse pad. Yes, this is mistakes to avoid when buying a gaming mouse, but just take note, mouse pads have an impact on how your mouse is gonna feel. There are slow pads, fast pads, there are even glass pads out there. You don't need a very expensive one, but make sure you have a good one, a decent one that has the right control that you want, that has the right speed that you want, has the right feel that you want, because your mouse pad will definitely affect the mouse feel. I've tested a lot of different mouse pads as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and go to the next mistake. Now, this next one is gonna be a bit more for those who want to buy mouses for the high performance, high polling rate, and more responsive feeling of the mouse. So mistake number 6, buying a high performance mouse without a good PC. Now, investing in a good mouse is definitely an amazing decision. There's nothing wrong with it. What I'm saying the mistake will be is if you expect a huge difference, a huge performance boost, while your PC doesn't even perform that good, then you're not gonna feel that big responsiveness and the 4000 Hz polling rate. I'm not saying that you should not buy a good mouse even if you don't have a good PC yet, because you'd probably feel a difference still, especially if you came from a mouse that is like very old, maybe an office mouse. So yeah, just take note of that. Don't make the mistake of expecting amazing performance with your mouse if your PC is not doing amazing performances. Now, if you've also made the mistake before when buying a gaming mouse, I would really appreciate it if you comment it down below and let me know and let others know so that they won't make the same mistake. Anyways, that will be it for the mistakes to avoid when buying a gaming mouse. I don't know if I'll make another video like this in the future, probably if this video does well, so please hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. Also, take note that the recommendations I gave you in this video might change in the future, Who knows, 1000 Hz might be too low in the future and it's not good anymore. Maybe a new switch might come out that's better than optical switches, so just take note, it might change in the future, but by then I'd probably make another update. But yeah, just take note that the recommendations I gave you in this video might change in the future. Anyways, that will be it though. I pray and hope that you enjoyed and learned something from this video. I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to stay grateful. Remember that Jesus loves you. Bye-bye.